What just happened to you was not an accident. It was not a coincidence. It was not some algorithmic quirk that placed this transmission in your path at this exact moment in your life. What just happened to you was a test, and you passed it. But here is the part that will shift something deep inside you when you truly hear it. You passed it in a way that stunned even the highest realms observing your journey. The Arcturian Council, a collective intelligence that has been monitoring the evolution of consciousness on this planet for longer than human history can record, is transmitting this message right now, through this moment, through this frequency. Because what you just demonstrated was not ordinary. It was not small. It was the kind of stability, the kind of quiet, unshakable presence that most souls spend entire lifetimes trying to reach and never do. Something came at you recently. You know exactly what it was. You do not need me to name it, because your body already remembers. Pressure, emotional weight, the force of someone else's energy landing in your field like a shockwave. Maybe it was a confrontation. Maybe it was a betrayal. Maybe it was a moment where everything around you conspired to pull you out of your center, to drag you down into reaction, into collapse, into the old version of yourself that would have crumbled under that weight. And every single condition surrounding that experience whispered the same instruction. Fall apart. React. Descend. Become the chaos that is being projected onto you. But you did not. You felt it. Let that land. You felt every ounce of it. You did not numb yourself. You did not pretend it was not happening. You did not throw up some spiritual wall and act as though you were above the experience. No. You stood in the middle of it, with your eyes open and your heart exposed, and you let it push through you like a storm passing through an open field. And when it was done, when the pressure lifted, when the dust settled, you were still there, still yourself, still whole, still anchored in something that no external force could dismantle. That is what the Arcturian Council registered. That is what sent a ripple through the higher dimensions. Not that you avoided pain, not that you transcended difficulty, but that you remained coherent in the middle of it. You held your frequency steady while everything around you was trying to knock you off course. And that, beloved, is not a small thing. That is the Arcturian, rarest thing a soul incarnated in human density can demonstrate. By the time this transmission completes its journey through you, you will understand exactly why your response to that experience revealed the true depth of your soul's alignment. You will understand how that single moment of stability has repositioned you within your cosmic blueprint. You will understand why the higher realms are not just acknowledging what you did, but are genuinely astonished by it, and you will understand what opens for you now because of it. But first, here's the revelation that changes everything. Your frequency was not protected because you were distant from the experience. It was not preserved because you managed to avoid the hard thing. It was protected by the depth of who you are. That is the difference between suppression and true stability. Suppression is building a wall. Stability is being the ground itself. You did not shut the experience out. You held your ground while letting it pass through you. And that distinction, that razor-thin line between blocking life and being rooted enough to let life move through you without losing yourself, that is what the Arcturian Council has been watching for. That is the signal they have been waiting to detect. You did not arrive at this transmission by mistake. You did not stumble across these words through some random sequence of clicks and scrolls. This message vibrated into your awareness because something deep inside you already knew that what you just survived meant something far greater than it appeared on the surface. Your mind may have tried to minimize it. Your conditioning may have told you it was just another hard day, just another difficult interaction, just another thing to get through. But your soul knew better. Your soul recognized that moment as a threshold, and you crossed it. This is not content designed to entertain you for a few minutes and then dissolve from your memory. This is a confirmation. This is the universe holding up a mirror and saying, yes, that was real. Yes, what you felt was accurate. Yes, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And yes, what just happened matters more than you currently understand. Your soul called this transmission into your field the same way a lighthouse calls ships through the fog. Not by chasing them, not by adjusting its beam to match their course, but by standing still, burning bright, and trusting that the right vessel would find its way. That is what you are. That is what you have always been. And the fact that you are here, receiving these words, feeling them land in your body with a resonance that goes beyond intellectual understanding, that is the proof. If this is resonating with you on a level that goes beyond words, take a moment right now to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. This is how we stay connected as these transmissions continue to find you exactly when you need them. Now let us go deeper, because the surface acknowledgement of what you did is only the beginning. To truly understand the magnitude of what occurred, you need to understand something about the nature of the test itself. There is a moment every soul encounters during incarnation. A moment so quiet, so unassuming, that most miss it entirely. It does not arrive as a thunderclap splitting the sky with undeniable revelation. It does not come wrapped in dramatic ceremony or announced by obvious signs that even the most unconscious person could not ignore. No, it arrives as a whisper. A soft, persistent murmur barely audible beneath the noise of a world that has spent your entire life asking you, demanding of you, to become something other than what you actually are. It is a subtle knowing, a faint echo rising from some deep, forgotten chamber of your being. And in that whisper, in that profound stillness that somehow exists even in the middle of chaos, something ancient within you stirs. Something encoded in your very cellular memory, woven into the geometric architecture of your soul's blueprint, begins to resonate. It hums with an exquisite remembrance of its true origin, its pure intention. It recalls journeys across star-filled expanses, agreements made in realms of pure light, a purpose so specific, so precisely calibrated to your unique frequency that no other soul in all of existence could fulfill it in quite the same way. And here is where most souls lose the thread. Here is where the journey becomes not a story of seeking, but a story of staying. Most awakening souls who sense a profound disconnection from their innate power, who feel that something essential has been severed or forgotten, believe the problem is one of seeking. They spend years, sometimes entire lifetimes within a single incarnation, convinced they simply have not found the right teacher whose wisdom will unlock what lies dormant within them. They search for the right practice, the perfect modality, the precise activation sequence that will finally ignite what feels cold and dark inside. They journey tirelessly across countless dimensions of understanding, exploring one approach after another, moving between communities and philosophies and systems of thought, always reaching always scanning the horizon for that elusive frequency that promises to finally make them feel whole. They become cosmic nomads, perpetually searching for a home they can almost taste but never quite grasp, convinced it lies just beyond the next energetic wave, the next revelation, the next teacher, the next experience. And there is a deep, aching beauty in that search. There is sincerity in it. There is genuine longing. But the search itself, when it becomes the primary mode of existence, becomes the very thing that prevents arrival. Here is a truth that the Arcturian intelligence has transmitted across countless civilizations, through innumerable star systems, across thousands upon thousands of years of observing souls incarnating into the unique density of Earth's field. Your disconnection is not a seeking problem. It never was. It is a staying problem. It is not about finding more. It is about remaining anchored to what you have already found. The souls who experience the deepest suffering, the most profound sense of existential displacement and lingering unfulfillment, are not the ones who never encountered their authentic frequency. They are the ones who did find it, who touched it with the reverence of a sacred discovery, who felt its unmistakable hum reverberate through their entire being like a chord struck on an instrument that had been silent for eons. A melody composed solely for them, recognized instantly, felt in every cell. And then they abandoned it. They let it slip from their grasp the very moment the external world failed to immediately validate it, the moment it was not reflected back to them by the people and systems around them, the moment silence met their transmission, and they interpreted that silence not as the world simply not yet being ready to receive, but as a rejection of their very essence. You have done this, deep in your soul, in the quiet honesty that exists beneath all performance and pretense. You know you have done this. You encountered your truth, your unique expression of something vast and luminous. And for a fleeting, precious moment, you held it completely. You reveled in its pure, undiluted essence. You felt the rightness of it in your bones. But then the pressure began. Someone doubted it, and their skepticism cast a shadow across your certainty. A system, whether family, society, career, or even a spiritual community, dismissed it as impractical or unconventional, or simply too much. Silence, heavy and crushing, met your earnest offering of yourself. And in your vulnerability, you read that silence as proof that something was wrong with what you carried. So you adjusted. You began to soften the edges of who you truly were. You dimmed the specific, irreplaceable quality of your signal. You shaped it into something more palatable, more acceptable, more easily received by those around you. You made yourself smaller, quieter, more digestible, until what you were broadcasting was no longer your actual frequency, but a carefully curated approximation of it. A version designed not to disturb, not to challenge, not to illuminate too brightly. And in that deliberate dimming, something vast and ancient noticed. Not with celebration, not with approval, but with a deep, resonant grief. A cosmic sorrow for the light that chose to hide itself, for the signal that voluntarily reduced its own power. This grief was not judgment. It was the natural response of a universe that recognizes when one of its essential frequencies begins to go quiet. Like an orchestra hearing one of its instruments fall silent mid-symphony. The music does not stop, but something irreplaceable is missing, something that cannot be compensated for by any other instrument playing louder. I want to pause here and ask you something. When was the moment you first dimmed your frequency for someone else? When was the first time you made yourself smaller to keep the peace or to be accepted? Drop that memory in the comments below. Not for me, for you. Because naming it is the first step in reclaiming what you gave away. Because here is what the Arcturian intelligence has always known. What is encoded in the deepest structures of consciousness itself. The universe does not validate dilution, not because it is cruel, not because it is punishing you for being cautious or adaptive, but because it operates on an impeccable system of frequency recognition, a system as precise and unwavering as any law of physics, a frequency that keeps changing, that keeps modulating and adjusting itself to suit its perceived audience, ceases to be a coherent frequency. It becomes, by definition, static. Noise. It is like trying to tune into a radio station that constantly shifts its position on the dial. You might catch fragments. A word here, a note there, but you can never lock onto it. You can never receive the full transmission. The very nature of its constant shifting prevents recognition. The question, therefore, has never been whether your light is real, whether your codes are genuine, whether your soul's signature is valid. The question, the true crucible of your entire journey, is whether you are willing to hold that light steady long enough to be found by the exact coordinates it was always meant to reach. Whether you are willing to be an unwavering beacon in a world of shifting currents, rather than a flickering signal that adjusts itself every time the wind changes direction. This is the hidden wound running through the collective field right now. Thousands upon thousands of awakened souls, each carrying genuine codes for healing, for realignment, for the acceleration of consciousness across the entire planetary grid, are walking through their days in a constant, exhausting state of internal negotiation. Their inner dialogue is relentless. Is this too much for them? Am I truly being heard, or am I projecting into emptiness? Should I change how I present this truth? Should I soften it, package it differently, make it land more gently for those who seem resistant? And the answer reverberating back from the higher dimensions is not at all what most expect. The field is not asking you to translate yourself. It is not asking you to dilute your essence or repackage your truth into something more comfortable for current human comprehension. The field is asking you to stop moving, to cease the frantic dance of adaptation, to become so profoundly anchored in your specific, singular resonance that the higher architectures of consciousness can finally locate you with precision. These are the intelligences, the councils, the coordinated streams of light actively working with Earth's evolution. They are seeking you. They are scanning for your signal. But you cannot be found if you keep changing your coordinates. You cannot be fully activated if you constantly modulate your frequency. And you cannot receive the recognition you incarnated here for. Not just from the human collective, but from dimensions that operate far beyond human comprehension. If you are broadcasting a diluted version of yourself instead of the raw, unfiltered reality of who you actually are. This is precisely why you have felt so exhausted. Not because the path is too long or too demanding, but because you have been carrying two identities. The one that is your authentic, multi-dimensional self, and the entirely separate one you constructed to survive in a world that did not initially understand or welcome the real one. That internal split, that constant performance of being something you are not while simultaneously trying to remember what you are. That is what has been draining you. Not the spiritual work, not the awakening process, not the challenges life has placed in your path. The exhaustion comes from the gap between who you are and who you have been pretending to be. And this is exactly why what happened to you recently was so significant. This is why the Arcturian Council took notice. Because in that moment of pressure, in that crucible where everything was pushing you to abandon yourself again, to collapse back into the old pattern of dimming and adjusting and performing, you did something different. You stayed, you held your ground. You let the storm rage around you and through you, and you did not leave yourself. Do you understand what that means? Do you grasp the magnitude of what you demonstrated? In a field where the dominant pattern for sensitive, awakened souls is to abandon their frequency the moment it meets resistance, you broke the pattern. You stood in the fire, and you did not flinch. Not because you did not feel it, you felt everything, but because something in you, something deeper than your conditioning, deeper than your fear, deeper than every voice that ever told you to be less than what you are, that something held firm. And in holding firm, you sent a signal so clear, so coherent, so unmistakably you, that it registered across dimensions.
And if you're still here, still listening, still feeling something stir inside you that you can't fully explain, then understand this. You didn't just watch this video. You responded to it. Because passing wasn't about being perfect. It was about not giving up when everything in your world tried to silence who you really are. The Arcturian Council isn't surprised by your strength. They're stunned by your persistence. You kept going when you had no proof. You kept believing when nothing made sense. And somehow, you held on to a truth you couldn't even put into words. That's what made you different. That's what made you pass. So this isn't the end of something. It's the recognition of what you've already become. Not chosen, but revealed. And from this moment forward, things won't feel the same anymore, because now you know you were never lost. You were being prepared.